You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. I mean, come on. Take a look at the record. Yeah. You don't know me. I get overwhelming support from the black leadership, young and old. Every poll shows me way ahead.
Yeah, they have things they want from you, and one of them is a black woman running mate. What do you say to them?
What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women being considered. Enough's enough.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, Swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people again.
Okay. Is it working?
Yeah. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Well, the Republicans in Congress and Mitt Romney himself often use the phrase unshackling, unshackling from Wall Street reforms, because they think it's not the right approach. We think it's the right approach. The vice president often talks about unshackling the middle class.
She said Mr. Biden was using a metaphor.
Former Vice President Joe Biden, he's run for president twice before, unsuccessfully. He's never before been the frontrunner. CNN's Jeff Zeleny has exclusively obtained some letters written by Biden himself.
Everybody asks me, what kind of Democrat? I'm an Obama-Biden Democrat, man.
After 8 years alongside President Obama, Joe Biden is coming back as a solo act.
I'm ready to go.
With his long record facing a new look under the spotlight of the 2020 campaign.
Gentlemen and ladies of the Senate.
One chapter receiving fresh scrutiny comes from his earliest years in the Senate, when he strongly opposed mandatory school busing. It was designed to achieve integration and a more equitable education. It was the mid-1970s. Biden favored desegregation, but not through busing. What's less known is how he followed the lead of some of the Senate's most fervent segregationists. In a series of never-before-published letters reviewed by CNN, the strength of Biden's opposition to busing comes into sharper focus. On March 25, 1977, Biden wrote, "My bill strikes at the heart of the injustice of court-ordered busing. It prohibits the federal courts from disrupting our educational system." Biden sought and received support from Mississippi Senator James Eastland, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, and a leading symbol of Southern resistance to desegregation. He frequently spoke of blacks as, quote, an inferior race.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Biden reflected on that era earlier this year.
They're a bunch of racists. There was, James O. East of Mississippi, Strom Thurmond, and so on. There were 9 guys who were in the caucus that were, I ran against in the civil rights movement.
But he did not say that Eastland and others were partners on several of Biden's anti-busing bills. On June 30th, 1977, Biden wrote, "Dear Mr. Chairman, I want you to know that I very much appreciate your help during this week's committee meeting in attempting to bring my anti-busing legislation to a vote." Then in 1978, Biden again asked Eastland to put his anti-busing bill before the full Senate, writing, "Your participation in floor debate would be welcomed." 4 decades later, after building a strong civil rights record, Biden stands by his opposition to busing, arguing it did not address institutional racism. Most busing programs in America were later abandoned, after bringing more hardship than equal opportunity to all students. A Biden spokesman telling CNN, "Joe Biden is today, and has been for more than 40 years in public life, one of the strongest and most powerful voices for civil rights in America." Ronnie Dunn is a professor at Cleveland State University who co-wrote the book Boycotts, Busing, and Beyond. He says Biden's opposition to busing is not disqualifying, but warrants explanation.
Those letters I find somewhat surprising given Senator Biden's or Vice President Biden's current position and potential candidacy for the presidency and his position as a liberal. Those are issues that he's obviously going to have to answer for.
You said surprising. Surprising in what way?
Well, the fact that he would solicit the support of staunch segregationists, James Eastland as well as Jesse Helms, introducing legislation as opposing busing at that time.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi today advised former Vice President Joe Biden to keep his distance after two women accused him of touching them inappropriately. Nancy Cordes spoke with congressional Democrats.
Coons insisted his daughter was not disturbed by this televised nuzzle from former Vice President Joe Biden in 2015.
There was a huge bank of cameras, about 50. And Joe, who knows her, leaned forward and whispered some encouragement, telling her that she was doing great, that she looked wonderful.
Did his actions make her feel uncomfortable?
No. My children have known Joe Biden their whole lives.
You've known me your entire life. I was here the day you got married. I've been to your home, eaten at your dinner table, shared your remote control. I am someone you love and trust. I'm Uncle Al. And what you don't know about me are the things I do to your kid when nobody's looking.
90% of all sexually abused children are abused by someone they know.
But with a presidential bid on the line, Mr. Biden's intimate style is now taking a toll.
Do I consider it inappropriate to smell someone's hair, to get so close that I smell their hair? Yes.
The controversy cropped up after two Democrats, former Nevada State Assemblywoman Lucy Flores and former congressional staffer Amy Lapos, described unusual encounters with Mr. Biden.
He was talking to me while he was rubbing my nose with his.
God love you. How are you? Great to see you. Why don't you kiss me? Thank you. I don't have a doubt about it. Thank you. How are you? God love you. I know this ain't a one-man sport. No, it's Thank you all for your patience. Bring the whole family up. Come on. Come on. Baby, how are you? Good to see you. You're getting old, aren't you? Sally, how are you? You got a smile that lights up the whole Senate chamber. Good to see you. You're getting too old. You're getting too old and too lovely. What are you seeing?
This is my daughter.
Hi, Kelly. How are you? Hi, Jack. You have very good taste. Good to see you, man. You have good taste. Well, I'll tell you what. You've got very good taste, like your father. It's a pleasure to meet you. You have very good taste. Come on, it's going to hurt your reputation, man. You're going to have to go home and explain. What would I do with that Democrat? Kids, come on over here, okay? You ready? Thank you so much. Now, you getting in this picture?
Do I still hold five?
Right over here. There you go. You can put it away. Come on. Wonderful. Pleasure to meet you.
Good. And again, please looking right here.
Okay, so tell me about you.
His wife, Holly.
Hi, Holly. How are you? Now, why don't you, Holly, you come over to my side. You come over to this side. I want you next to me. I want you next to me. Oh, yeah, other sister, you come over to this side, other sister. Come on over this side. Okay? Come on, sis. You get right in the middle with me. You go right over here. Over this side. Mom, you go right in the middle. Come on, Dad. Okay, here you go. Good. How old are you?
28.
28. God, I love you.
26.
26. You look like you. I thought they were still in school. Too many beautiful girls in this room. You got one job. My father used to say, for real, keep the boys away from your sister. That's the job. Just remember, no serious guys in your 30s. Is this your sister? You have a hard job. You got to keep the boys away from your sister. That's the deal. Hey, Jasper, you're going to have a hard job keeping the boys away from your sister. Like you had a beautiful sister, you keep the boys away from your sister. That's the job. My dad used to say, one job, keep the guys away from your sister. My dad used to say, you got one job. I have a beautiful sister like you guys. I swear to God, he used to say, you have one job, keep the guys away from your sister. You're in trouble.